of all, teammates looking ahead to Everton, how the squad's shaping up?
Yeah. Same as last week. No real change. A couple of bumps and bruises after the game as normal, and guys who've been out for a little while are recovering and on track. But no, we're as we were.
We spoke a lot at the start of the season about one of your aims looking to bridge the gap between the Championship and the Premier League. Now we're a few weeks in. Where do you assess the squad's level at? Do you think you've been able to do that to a certain extent?
Well, we definitely would have liked to have obtained more points than what we have. And as we know, in the end, that's the most important thing. And there's always the number one objective, so how many points and position you finish in. So we'll be no different. So we are sort of frustrated, but that we haven't got more points than what we have, because we feel like we could have got something more in each game than what we did. So that's a frustration, but it's also a motivation to do better on that front in terms of getting over the line and results. But we also feel like we are really making positive strides in that transition and becoming a really competitive team in this league. So I don't want to say that we're on course because we've only got 2 points. That would be wrong. But I also know there's a lot of good things going on, and there's a really good work ethic, and there's a really good environment, brilliant spirit and togetherness from the guys, and really committing to what we're trying to do. And the process is what we're in control of, and that's our preparation, that's our training, that's our sort of attitude towards games in terms of, like I said, how we prepare and how we deliver on match days. And so no problem there. We've just got to continue to try and put it all together. And if we do, we feel like we will be a good match for any game that we play. So we've just got to keep going, really.
I wanted to ask you about Odsonne Edouard, of course, being ineligible for the last 2 games, but now he is available.
Yeah.
What do you hope that he can bring to the squad that's going to be a bit different maybe perhaps to the other options you have?
Yeah, so it was obviously, it felt like a little while he's been with us now, and he hasn't been able to play with the international break, and first game being against his parent club in Crystal Palace. But that's also allowed us for him to develop his sort of relationships with his teammates and the staff, to understand how we want to play and his role within it. And he adds another good experience, a good level of player to the attacking part of the pitch. So he's played mainly as a number 9, but we can also play in some slightly different positions at the top end of the pitch. So I've talked quite often about having a variety of options and different profiles that we can hopefully select wisely for each and every game. And Odsonne is another good example of that. So we're enjoying working with him, and it'll be great, to get him involved sooner rather than later.
And just finally for me, Stephen, looking ahead to Everton, I know it's very early on in the season, but does this already potentially feel like a 6-pointer come the end of the season as a huge thing?
We're taking out every game as it comes and treating it with the same importance. We prepare for every team for expecting them to be at the best, and Everton have a lot of really good players and a really experienced manager, and we know that, like every game in this league, it comes. Games come with really difficult challenges, so we're fully aware of that. But our approach so far has been to really focus on ourselves and what we can bring, because that's what we're in control of more than anything else. So it's continuing with that plan, continuing with our strategy, getting ready for a tough game. We're excited about the game. We're excited about being at home. It's been a brilliant training week, I have to say, which has been on the back of a frustration of not winning at Palace and a really bad decision that went against us, that we've had to pick up with the Premier League this week. But also knowing that we did enough good things in the game to allow us to feel positive about our work. So we're excited for the game. Yeah. Thanks, Dan.
Just on the VAR decision, how do you make sure that doesn't fester with the players, and that sense of resentment is used in a positive way?
Yeah, well, we're over it, of course. I mean, it was an awful human error. that we believe has been hidden a little bit in the media. And that's been as disappointing as the decision, to be honest. You know, we at the time didn't feel like the decision was right, and we asked for clarity. And you know, we've seen different images that show that when they froze the game for the decision of the offside, it clearly was offside. Unfortunately, where they froze it was at the wrong time, and it was they're deemed to be onside. So everything that has been seen by the media, by the KMI panel, has been a false image. You know, and the meeting that we had on Monday with the Premier League, we showed clear footage that actually the game was stopped at the wrong time. So, isn't it? Listen, decisions go against you, whether it's in game or VAR, and we've had a massive error go against us. But we don't want it to go under the radar, because I don't think that would be right for the players and also the supporters. So even though it might be hidden in the media, it's our obligation really to bring it up and say we've been really hard done by, been let down, and we've told the Premier League what our thoughts are, and the referees department, and they met us, to be fair, on Monday, which they should have done. Should have been Sunday really, but it was Monday, and that's where we're at with it. So it's no disrespect to Crystal Palace, not in any way, shape or form, but for me, errors like that should never happen, particularly when VAR is in place. The offside is obviously a flawed system. That's why we're changing to semi-automated. But yeah, we felt very let down by it, and we needed to stand up for the club with the players and supporters and tell them what we thought. Like I said, it doesn't change the result, and we'll be on the end of good and bad decisions this season that will influence the games like that one did. That is football, and that's why we love it. But don't hide away from mistakes. You know, own them and stand up for it.
Can I ask you about Jamie?
Yeah.
Working with him, he doesn't seem to have lost his appetite.
No, he's hungry. Yeah, he's really hungry, to be fair, really motivated. Feel like we're working well with him. I think you have to get involved in the process, obviously with his age, if you like, and the stage he's at in his career in terms of what's right for him in terms of preparation. But he loves training, he loves being involved with the team. He gets excited at match days, and you can see in his game that he's really motivated. And for me, the preparation for the games is the key for him, to allow him, you know, to be at his very, very best in every aspect for games. So there's no doubt he's had a good start to the season, particularly off the back of a very indifferent pre-season where he missed most of it through an injury. And he's been able to deliver for us while obviously getting himself fully up to speed with his training load. So yeah, let's hope that you know, we can keep it going for him, because you know, when he's on it like he has been in games, he's still a massive threat.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Hi Steve, hope you're okay. Just on Odsonne Edouard, you talked there about having a different profile of striker. What does his profile offer you in particular?
Yeah, well, obviously, you know, Jamie has been well known for his sort of playing on the limit and his runs in behind and really coming alive in the box, and that's what's given him the career that we all have seen over, you know, many years now, and Odsonne can definitely offer that as well. But as well as being involved in the build-up, he can play, like I said, in a couple of positions. And you just need more than one option in every position. So he has the Premier League experience. He has the big game experience as well, even through his time at Celtic, playing on a big stage there. And you know, the more attacking options you can have going into a game and during a game for changes, I think the better. And that Owen is the the modern game, isn't it? You know, it's not just about the starting team. It's not just about one player for one position. It's having a real variety, and that's what he adds to us. So yeah, you saw at the start of the season how with Vards picking up that injury, and obviously Pato being out as well, that we were a little bit sort of undermanned there, and we needed to bring some bodies in as well, but to bring in the quality that we have, it bodes well for us really to give us the right level that we need at that end of the pitch.
You spoke very passionately a few moments ago around the VAR decision. Did the Premier League accept that the game had been, or that certainly the footage that was shown was stopped too early for the decision? Was there an acceptance there?
Well, we had a meeting with them, and we showed them. We asked them to explain why they came to the decision that they did, and it confirmed to us that they were wrong in terms of when they actually stopped the game. We showed them some broadcast footage, other broadcast footage that's not been anywhere near the media. So everything that you see on Match of the Day or Sky or PLP and everything else has been false really in terms of the decision, because it was stopped at the wrong time. We showed them the real footage and with some extra footage as well that we have, and we presented it to them, we gave it to them, but we haven't had anything back since.
So there's been no apology or anything like that so far?
No.
Next up, Everton, to get 3 points this weekend in front of your home fans. I wonder how big a foundation block that might be for kick-starting this period now before the next international.
Yeah, no, that's what we're all striving for. You'd always strive for, if we'd had more points on the table, we'd still be, equally as motivated to get the 3 points in this game, and that's that stage of the season. But that's all you want, is to win as many games as you can. But at the moment we feel like we're doing a lot of good things. I'm seeing loads of togetherness. I'm seeing loads of commitment into the plan. Everyone's sort of on board, and but we know that's all well and good as long as we can put it together on a match day, and that allows us to get the results that we want. So we're desperate to win in front of our home supporters. The 2 games we played so far, we've lost, and we've been sort of applauded off performance, but that's not enough. We need to be applauded off for good performances and wins, and we hold that responsibility strongly. So full commitment now into, which has been from when we returned after Palace, into Everton, and another day or so before we can hopefully make it count.
Steve, thank you very much. Best of luck.
Thanks, mate. You too.
Okay, we'll go to Charlie from BBC Sports.
Thanks, Charlie.
Just to clarify, the footage that you have had access to and the club have had access to, did the VAR officials have access to that at the time that they were making?
Some of it, yeah. But it's not being used. It's not being used.
How? I guess I'm asking you to speculate now.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, we can't change, what happened in the game, and the mistakes will happen, and there'll be a game hopefully this year where we'll be on the end of a poor decision that goes for us. So we understand that, but just own up to it. Just don't hide behind it and accept it. Have the humility to go, we've made a big mistake there, and we'll learn from it. That's what players will be doing. That's what managers will be doing. You need to see the same from referees as well. So he didn't intend to make the mistake that he did, but they did make a massive mistake, and show the footage. Don't put out the wrong image. The images that they've used are the ones where they did stop the game, and he is onside, but they've stopped it after the ball has been kicked, not when the ball is. They stopped it when the ball has been kicked, as Howard Webb explained. I didn't see it, but it explained in his show in the week about when they actually touched the ball. That's when you look at the offside. If they'd done that for this, you would see that he was clearly offside. But they did it when the ball had left the foot, and we've seen some clear images of that. We obviously can't release them, and we won't. But if we had, then you would see it. But the Premier League have it. We sent our presentation to them and the footage, and we've not heard anything back.
Just looking at the weekend, Everton, with everything that they're going through as a football club at the moment, just from the outside looking in, it looks like a really good opportunity to springboard and kickstart your season.
It's a good opportunity because we feel like we feel like there's a lot of good work going on here. So it doesn't matter who we play, and obviously we're focused on Everton because that's the opponent. But regardless of who we play, and we feel like it's a good opportunity because of what we're developing. But it's all talk at the moment until we win games, But we've really got to commit to that plan, that process, which guys have been faultless in terms of the application and the engagement. But it's all, like I said, it's all talk. We've just got to deliver now on match days and get results.
Just finally for me, the player workload issue that's been debated this week. Rodri came out, said some of the players that he'd spoken to were considering strike action because there's just far too much football. They're not getting an opportunity to have any downtime, any rest time. What's your take on all of it?
Well, I can't say I've got the personal experience of being a sort of a Premier League manager that's in Europe and latter stages of cup competitions and then obviously international games, etc. It would be really wrong for me to give a strong opinion because I've not really lived in that world. But where we're at this season, dependent on sort of cup games, we'll play a lot less games than what we would have done in the Championship. Some guys will play more because of internationals. So I think it's right that it's topical. I think it's right that it's monitored because in the end you want players to be at their best during games because it gives off the best image and the best identity for any game that people are watching, or whether it be domestic or international. So and obviously welfare and players should always be well thought of and looked after. But I can't really say that like some of the European teams that I've lived and breathed it. I hope I do one day. But at the moment, we're sort of just dealing with the schedule that we have.